The road to your goals is not always an easy one. Sometimes people will try and take shortcuts. These shortcuts are eventually the downfall of one's said dream. Welcome to The Aftermath, a series where I interview people around the United States with a dream that was not always reached, and we ask them why and what came around to this. This is Michael Porras with another special edition of The Aftermath. We'll be sharing the story of a now expelled student from the University of Miami because of his bad habit. This bad habit that he wants to share being his use of artificial intelligence. This young man stepped up and decided to share his story for all students and for staff here at Miami-Dade County Public Schools to change their up-and-coming decision of whether or not to implement artificial intelligence into Miami-Dade County Public Schools. Thank you so much, Alan Irvin.
Of course. No, thank you for letting me be able to share the story that I've been meaning to share for a while.
So, Alan Irvin, please tell us the beginning of your story.
Well, this all started around in my sophomore year of high school. I just got moved into creative writing. And throughout the weeks of that same year was when I realized that I really loved story writing.
When was the first time you started using artificial intelligence?
It was around the spring term of that same year. They'd assign us so much stuff to write at the same time. I opened up ChatGPT and it ended up writing the thesis for me, and I thought that it was just a one-time thing, and then surprisingly I got an A for it.
So how many times did you end up using ChatGPT?
The more the assignments started coming through after that one night, I basically relied on it. I would get like straight A's the entire time. They loved what I wrote, but it wasn't what I wrote.
And they didn't check for AI?
No, they didn't. At that time, they didn't. I don't even know. Most people didn't even know that was a thing.
So what exactly led you to being caught with artificial intelligence?
Well, one of the assignments they had given me was to write a novel. And from the moment I opened up my Word document to start writing, I had nothing. I had nothing. I didn't know what I could possibly say. And I promised myself from the moment I entered the University of Miami that I wouldn't be using AI, because AI was becoming such a big thing. But since I didn't know what to do, I had nowhere else to turn to. And then when they went to check the work, I failed for plagiarizing.
Are there any words that you want to share with them in regards to this decision?
Well, the number one thing I would say is for any teachers at Miami-Dade Public Schools, please don't let your students do what I did, please. Because of AI, I'm not the great writer I am. I'm not the great writer I wanted to be. It took away my skills, and it took away my degree.
Alan Irvin, thank you so much for being on this special edition of The Aftermath.
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you for sharing your story. Well, you heard it here first. This is live insight and first-hand experience of what it's like to be a student in Miami-Dade County to use artificial intelligence. I thank Alan Irvin for sharing his experience, and I want you, the viewer, to recognize how any of these students in Miami-Dade County from here on out in the future, how they could be just like Alan Irvin if they use artificial intelligence for their own gain and even for the education of themselves. Have a good night.